Hey guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing my May wrap-up talking about the books that I read in the month of May. And I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm just going to be sharing some statistics. And I've seen people do this before and I've always been interested in doing it. I just didn't want people to think that I was copying other people or whatever, but I really do like hearing statistics in people's wrap-ups, so I thought I will include them this time to see how it goes. This month I read a total of 4 books, 1 anthology, 1 middle grade, 1 classic, and 1 manga. From my ratings, I had an average of 3.6 stars between the 4 books, and I read a total of 1,278 pages this month, with also reading 3 paperbacks and 1 hardcover, books by male authors, which I didn't realize I did. But that's interesting, cool. First up here I have is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1, and I just read this at the bookstore because I had an hour to kill and I was like, sure, let's just read this. And I really enjoyed it. If you don't know, this is about a boy and he goes on a date with this girl, not knowing that she's a ghoul. So ghoul eats human flesh, and then he gets turned into half ghoul, half human, and that's where the story goes. And I previously watched the first episode of the anime before this, and I loved the first episode. Usually you have to take a bit to get into an anime. No, first episode I was like, yes. And so I was really happy to pick up the manga, and I've always been really interested in them, just they're more expensive than traditional manga. They're about $15 each, which most manga are like $11, $12. And I love this. I really enjoyed it. I like the characters like a lot. I'm really connected to the story and these characters, and that's a lot to say for the first volume, but I did have that background knowledge of the anime, and there is some differences and similarities between the two as well. Overall, it's just a story that's really up my alley with a really cool concept, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read was The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. This is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson series. I was really excited to get to this book considering I had not continued on with this series since like August or something like that. And basically, if you don't know, this series deals with Percy and him getting thrown into the world of gods and great gods and blah blah blah, and I'm sure you know what this is about. And basically I finally chose to pick up the 3rd book, and I did enjoy it. I was kind of hesitant to go into it just because I spent so much time away from the series, so I was really kind of hesitant, and I heard this book was the people's least favorite is what I heard. But I was surprised it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, and I thought it was really entertaining and fun, and I kind of liked the journey into some of the new characters that arrived in this book. I did deduct it points, I guess, star ratings, because I didn't like the way Percy used mental illnesses, adjectives. It's just a personal pet peeve of mine. And I understand some people do it just lightly, it's kind of a habit, but just the way he said it, I can't ignore. So I have to mention that. It's just a personal thing that I don't like. But I did overall give this book 3.5 stars, and I will continue eventually. I read was one that I continued from the previous month, and that is The Bazaar of Bad Dreams by Stephen King. I do have a full-length review up for this if you guys want to check out more of my thoughts, and it's probably, if you're interested, it's better to watch that video because this is an anthology. It's a bunch of Stephen King short stories. It's the most recent short story collection he has released, and the stories are also different, so I can't really give you a summary on each, and even in that video I don't do that. I kind of just give you some keywords that describe each short story, but essentially there was a mix of stories. I was expecting to really enjoy this. I was expecting a little bit better from a short story collection, but I think I'll pick up one of his older ones as well. But it was okay. There was a really big mix of stories, and I was buddy reading this with a friend from school, so I really enjoyed talking to her about it as we kind of went along. Overall, I only gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Again, there's ratings that range from 1 to 4 stars. I don't think I gave any 5s out, but there was my favorite short story was Bad Little Kid, but some of these were just pointless, to be honest. But Bad Little Kid was my favorite, The Little Green God of Agony, stuff like that, and those were some of my favorites. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this one, and I gave this 3 stars, like I said. And the last and final book I read was The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. And if you guys saw my currently reading video, I actually did was holding up this copy, but I actually stopped using this copy, and I used the school edition, but I do have this, so I'll show it up. But I stopped using it because I didn't want to be tempted to use the translation side, and because like my teacher recommended that I don't use this for now. And so that's what I did, and I read the I was still reading the play, you know what I mean? But like, this is sitting here. So I went with the school copy, so then the quotations and numbers match up, like the numbers match up for the quotations, if you know what I mean. This was my first Shakespeare play and definitely kind of brought me into the world of Shakespeare, so I was really happy to finally get into a Shakespearean play, and I'm so excited to read more about him in the future. And I just really enjoyed this. Surprisingly, I didn't think I was gonna love it all that much, or I'd be kind of confused, but I ended up really enjoying it, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. So there you guys have it. These are the 3 books and the 1 manga that I read this month. Let me know what you guys read down below, and possibly your favorite book from this month. And I know it can be sometimes hard to choose, but at least just tell me a book that you really enjoyed reading this month. Personally for me, it's probably The Merchant of Venice and Tokyo Ghoul. But thank you guys so much for watching again. I'll see you soon with a new video. If you do have any video requests, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon with a new video. Bye.